everybody. So, what am I up to? I am going to be connecting with the consciousness, that which is Jesus. And I want to explore with Jesus an idea that I have been contemplating. So, there's schools that are called Christ the King. There's this idea that Jesus is the King, or Christ the King. And I feel very strongly within my heart that there's something extremely out of balance with this phenomenon and Jesus' style message, because Jesus does not want to be identified as a king. That's how I've always experienced him, that he does not identify with being a king. And I don't want to say that for him. I'd really like to actually connect with his consciousness and explore a message with him related to this idea. I also think this is interesting timing because Christmas is coming up, and Jesus and Christmas, Christmas, they go hand in hand, and we're getting in the December month and the December weeks up until the special day when we all have a gift-giving experience. And it's not just about Christmas, because there's other holiday events that aren't related to Christianity, and it's sort of all intermingled in this month of December. So I think channeling Jesus right now is going to be interesting timing, and I'm very curious to see what he has to say related to this idea. All right? Are you guys ready for this? All right, I'm going to relax now, and I'm going to get connected. And we're going to see what he has to say, okay? So I'm just relaxing right now. And I'm allowing myself to relax even further now. The first experience I have is slowing down and feeling so relaxed I could almost fall asleep. And in that state, I see what is a child resting their head upon a pillow. And they are sleeping. This child is sleeping. And the face of a child sleeping is so angelic, and there's something of this angelic face of a sleeping child. It's very beautiful and very innocent. Okay, I'm entering into a new zone here, and it's not a pretty picture. It's everything that is innocent and angelic and sacred about just a simple moment of a child going to sleep at night is defiled suddenly. The child becomes burnt from the inside out, and even opened up so I can see in the inside. And this bed is concave and smeared, and everything seems to be in a reflection of a hell state. And there's no screaming, there's no sound. It's simply a flip, a twist inside and out. We wore the pants on backwards. Oh shoot, I'm wearing my pants backwards. I'm going to flip them inside out so I'm wearing the right way. Instead, it feels like the right way should be an angelic sleeping child. The wrong way should be flip the pants inside out, wear them backwards, and now we have a hell space. Nothing is warm and fuzzy about this. So we'll just say that for right now. Okay, Jesus is asking me to go deeper into what I see here. Two sides of a picture. Angelic innocence. Other side is twisting it, turning it inside out, and distorting it, creating a desecration of it. But both are side by side right now. Both are in balance. Are they in balance? I'm experiencing them as imbalance somehow. So angelic and then chaos. Okay, so I'm going to go deeper beneath the surface of what we've seen so far. All right, there is a lot of hurt down here, and I mean a lot of hurt down here. It stinks. It's swampy. It's infested with archaic rot, gut rot, rot of pain and suffering, rotted bodies. It stinks. It smells like rotted flesh. And I'm going into what is like a sewer system. Beneath the surface of this, there is suffering. This is very energetically exhausting to go down in here and to experience this. The suffering of the world. It's a reflection of the suffering of our world. Jesus says this goes deeper. This goes still deeper. The suffering of our world goes even deeper still. Do you want to just, is sort of like my higher self is wanting to create an understanding here. Do we as a human race want to see the pretty picture and say that this is the only thing that is real? Children are sleeping peacefully at night, angelically, and everything is just warm and fuzzy cotton ball happiness. Or do we want to see a deeper reality of this picture? Because it gets really sick and twisted if we want to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into the reality of the pain and suffering of the human race. Jesus is not saying that. My higher self is saying that, okay? So now we're going to go deeper still. Jesus is only encouraging us to go deeper. That's all he's saying. Are you able to go deeper? And now if you saw what was deeper, would you be able to handle that? Are you okay seeing what is beneath the surface? Are you okay with it? He's just simply asking this in a very gentle way. My higher self is a little bit harder core. Jesus is like so awesome. My higher self is also so awesome, but she's a lot more snappy. We're just going to keep going deeper, okay? Because I'm cool with it, Jesus. I'm cool with going deeper. But if you, the viewer, are not ready for this deeperness, then you can stop the video. It's for a mature audience. This video is for a mature audience. All right, so let's go deeper. Okay, it's pretty ugly down here, and I experience what is a chokehold of the human. The human is being choked, is being suffocated. And then also what is grabbing a hold of the gut region, and there's a lot of emotional turmoil going on. And it's really awkward because this sort of very tight leash, it's a very tight collar around the neck, is making it hard for us to speak. It's making it hard for us to breathe. I mean, it's like we're being like a big hand wrapped around our throat, and we're being lifted up, and we can't even feel our feet against the ground. And we're struggling. We're struggling to speak. We're struggling to breathe. We're struggling even to stand on our own 2 feet. And we're feeling this emotionally in our guts. And we're feeling a mental strain as well. Is this a reality? Or is it an angelic, peaceful, soft, warm, and cozy world that we live in? Or is there suffering here? So, okay, we're going to go deeper. All right, there's sadness, there's tears. I experienced Mother Mary crying. I experienced that desecration of the Virgin Mother. And we're not just talking about Mother Mary, we're talking about the divine feminine. We're talking about the collective feminine. All right, and the desecration of sacred sexuality and the female form. But I don't want to just focus on women, because men too need nourishment, need balanced nourishment. Women too need balanced nourishment. Right now, we're focusing on the divine feminine. We're focusing on the Virgin Mother, Mother Mary, and she's crying. All of these tears are streaming into an earth that is struggling to heal itself. And the earth, too, is a womb that is sort of, how do I describe it? I see the image of Mother Mary, and she's very pregnant. She might even have triplets in there. She's super pregnant. And these tears fall to basically a ground that is acidic and even has fumes that come off of the soils. And these tears are so pure that the tears themselves would purify the land. But the land is sort of leaning towards the acidity. And it's not allowing that purifying energy to absorb into it, so it could be a healing medicine, that it could alter the acidity, that it could balance it. It's just so much acidity down here, and it's burning. It's burning acidity. The earth is. But the earth too is reflecting as a womb as well. as a pregnant mother as well. So this is how we treat the pregnant mother of our planet Earth. This planet Earth, if we see planet Earth as Mother Mary, how are we treating Mother Mary, planet Earth? How are we treating planet Earth, also known as Mother Mary? Are we treating our Earth with sacredness, with reverence, with honor, with love, with nourishment? Or are we desecrating Mother Earth? Are we desecrating then Mother Mary? Are we desecrating then Divine Feminine? All right, this gets even worse, all right? So I'm going into the rot, the gut rot of our planet, all right? Jesus is he is so patient, but he is also moved. He was talking to me, I didn't say this, but he was talking to me about the reason why he came here, the reason why his persona, his consciousness became a part of this world, to remind us that we have a choice to be consciously aware that suffering exists and to participate in healing that suffering, not by pretending it doesn't exist, but by seeing it raw as it is and saying, what can I do to help you today? So you too are Jesus. You too are an incarnate being. You too have consciousness of love. You too can participate as Jesus has participated in helping, as Mother Mary has participated, as Mother Earth is here participating in this experience with us, as we here are here participating in this experience. There's collective meaning to all of this. So we're going into the deeper layers now, okay? This is hard. It's very energetically, there's so much sadness down here. It's criminal, all right? It feels criminal. It's a thread. It's a source. It's a pathway. Christ the King is actually like a code word. And I'm going through a pathway to a criminal location. There's this Christ the King. There is so much negative energy associated with this. There's so much beneath the surface of it. Let's just say that, because I feel the human race is not feeling or thinking negatively about this at all. But there's a reality, right? We're seeing it as an angelic child sleeping peacefully, Christ the King school. When the deeper persona is something much more real, much more raw. And we need to start seeing reality, all right? I'm going deeper and deeper and deeper into this criminal space. It feels criminal. That's the only way I can describe it. That's beneath the surface of all these other layers that I've been to. So let's go deeper into here. It's really hard to tolerate it. I feel like I'm being crushed under the weight of something massive. And I feel like I want to cry. And so I'm sort of falling to my knees and I'm crying profusely. And this is not Mother Mary. That's up there. That's still way up there. I'm even beneath the surface of those tears. And I am down here crying. And I am enslaved. And my hands are cuffed. And I'm a slave. I basically am a slave. I'm dirty. I'm broken emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. And I'm shackled. I'm a slave. And I'm crying tears into this barren landscape. There's nothing that grows here. There are masters here. And I'm forced to be at the feet of these masters. And they're like pigs. They're like, they kind of remind me of the guards and, Jabba the Hutt. I believe that Jabba the Hutt had these like guards that have like a boar like teeth, and they're kind of got slimy mouths and their green skin. I think that's where this is coming from. Anyway, they emanate a power figure. They emanate power, but they're like pigs, pig people standing here, and I'm bowing before them. But I don't have to. I don't actually have to. And in an odd way, it almost seems like I believed that I was was I believed that I was a slave, or I was participating in the experience of being a slave, but I can wake up now at any time. And I can stand on my own 2 feet, and I can realize that I have 2 hands. And I can realize that I have a heart and a soul and a spirit that wants to sing and to dance and to be merry and to create love in this world. I can choose to wake up to that reality, that I am a part of this world and that I have 2 hands to help. I have a heart to help. I have a spirit here to help. And I'm not bound to anything. I'm not a victim of anything. I'm not a slave to anything. I can simply be happy. And I can allow that happiness to do its part, to participate in something. This whole scene is sort of reminding me a lot of the conspiracy theory reality that a lot of people feed into. And so people who are sleeping are not aware of some of the very, concerning elements of our society. So where you used to be able to walk down the street and say hi to somebody, you don't really see people walking down the street anymore. We're all in our house watching TV or on our cell phones or laptops or whatever, or tablets. You could be on a plane, you could be on a bus, you could be on a train, you could be on the subway, and people are on their cell phones. We're not communicating with each other. We're not we're not a part of each other's world. We're a part of an other reality. We're a part of an invisible dimensional reality. I don't know what this reality is, because there's either the reality of us physically communicating or the reality of us energetically communicating or communicating through the frequency waves. It's interesting. I find it interesting. But, this conspiracy theory that the human race is enslaved and we're given sort of programmed devices to keep us enslaved, to keep us from actually evolving or ascending or waking up to each other, waking up to healing the planet. Why are we destroying the planet? Why is that not our first and foremost priority? In America, priority is to build a wall. Priority isn't to start developing jobs to heal the planet, to create, the skyscraper greenhouses, to create healthy communities, to create programs for kids, to create things that are going to better society. But to separate society is where the pathway forward. You know what I mean? So this is sort of like this conspiracy theory that we're all being manipulated. We're sort of under this sort of umbrella of suppression, and we don't even see it. We aren't even noticing it, okay? So this is sort of reminding me of like the reptilian race. They're enslaving the human race. The thing is who cares? Like I'm so sick of this, because so much attention goes into it, but nobody sees what's past that. So I might as well just give up my rights to be alive. I might as well give up my freedom to even play a part in helping the human race. I might as well just throw it in the garbage disposal and flush it down the toilet, whatever my purpose, because the reptilians are here. Who cares? I have a heart. I have a soul. Jesus is real. We have a purpose here. We don't have to be slaves. We can, it's all invisible stuff. It's all ideas. It's all simply an idea, okay? And if we can actually start to say, what matters more to me is healing the planet. What matters more to me is doing the best I can for my kids. What matters more to me is whatever this is, giving back to or healing myself, quitting that addiction, taking the time to heal myself. This is healing the bigger picture. This is more powerful than any reptilian agenda. This is more powerful because love is more powerful. Love is more powerful. So this sort of scene kind of reminds me of that. Beneath the surface, So we want to see the angelic. We want to see the happy. We want to see the beautiful, the pristine. But if we go deeper into Christ the King, it gets more and more painful, the suffering of the human race. The inspiration for Jesus' consciousness in the first place to remind us how to love others as we would want to love ourselves, or to treat, that sort of golden rule, right? And then beneath the surface of all of this is this mass corruption, the conspiracy theories, which I'm not saying are not true or are true. I do feel that there's a strong meaning to really looking at the bigger picture of this stuff. And then to choose to do something about it. But how do we do something about it? By pointing it out? Hey, you got a booger on your face, but it's really like, there's something very concerning about the Roman Catholic Church, but we can't really go in there and we can't really say anything against it and we can't really point that out. So we have to do sort of a roundabout way, I just find it interesting that there's fewer and fewer and fewer Catholic churches. There's fewer and fewer and fewer men that want to be priests. So slowly but surely we're evolving beyond this Roman Catholic Church direction anyway. So it's going to suffocate itself out anyway, and things are going to change. But I don't want to talk about this. I want to go deeper. I want to just keep exploring this. All right, so I'm standing up now, and I realize that I believe there were shackles there. There aren't. I believed all of this stuff. That's not, it's all an idea. It's all a belief system. That I have the power to stand on my own 2 feet. And I actually walk through these 2 masters. I just walk straight through them, and I start walking towards a horizon. And the ground is not, it's all like acidic and nothing grows here. And so it's funny. It's sort of like the pigs are eating the humans, It's like we're food for the pigs. I don't know why, but these masters are standing like big old pig people. And I feel like I'm food for the pigs. Anyway, I'm just standing up and I'm just walking through. They're standing here and I'm just walking through them. I'm walking towards the horizon. And none of this, whatever was before, isn't what I'm choosing to be my pathway forward. It just was an experience. That's it. All it was an experience. And I'm moving beyond that experience. I'm moving towards this horizon so I can have new experiences, okay? I have no hard feelings. I got nothing against it. I'm just choosing to say, well, it was an experience. I'm going beyond this experience. I want something new now. All right, so this is interesting because I can't explain how this is even happening, but I have a bunch of parachutes behind me, and somehow the wind is blowing from behind me, but the parachutes are left open, and it seems like all the wind is in my favor, and the parachutes are open, and the wind is pushing me forward, and somehow I'm being lifted up in the air, and the parachutes are opening up, but I keep going higher, and I'm moving faster forward, and the wind is at my side, or the wind is at my back, I guess, pushing me forward. It's all very positive, and it's all happening very quickly. The wind is in my favor. The winds of change, positive winds of change. Okay, so this is a little complicated. Totally new scene. And I'm going back to a school entitled Christ the King. I don't know what to make of it. I say to Jesus, does it really matter? I was also hearing this song, Ring Christmas Bells, that song. It's kind of like a haunted Christmas song, but it's like really cool. It's like deep and like crazy. Anyway, they put all these like subliminals about, Jesus is king, da, 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 da. And it was like, whoa, I'm hearing all this Christmas bell stuff, and then thrown in there is Jesus is king, and it's like Christ the King schools. Like, does Jesus really want to be called a king? Is that really appropriate? Is that really the message of Christianity, that Jesus is king? I don't think so. And I feel like this here needs to be changed. It's a subliminal message. There's something not correct about it, and I don't agree with it. I'm still looking at the school. Children are playing at the playground, and nobody is noticing it but me, I guess. I'm just standing here looking, I'm like pointing at it, I'm like, Jesus, it says Christ the King. What do you make of this? And kids are playing, and I'm the only one standing here like gawking at this, and nobody even notices me gawking at it. And Jesus isn't saying anything to me about it right now. And now all the kids disappear, and there's a creepy wind blowing, and you still see Christ the King school. And there's an odd sort of like one of the letters has fallen, and so it's sort of like dangling or hanging. So it looks kind of like an old beat up school, or like a long forgotten school. And then nobody has fixed the letters on the school. And nobody seems to have gone to the school for a long time. I tell Jesus I'm kind of creeped out by this world. I'm blowing up I'm basically getting bigger, so I can see the bigger picture, and so I'm starting to see the whole planet in this dimension is basically a toxic wasteland. And there's a creepy wind that blows through, and everybody's dead. I mean, there's no living thing here, but Christ the King still stands. Christ the King's school still stands, but no human beings are here anymore. Nothing lives anymore, but Christ the King's school still stands. And there's a creepy wind blowing. In this dimensional reality, that is true. In this dimensional reality, that is true. So he's asking, are the humans standing, or is Christ the King standing? And we're looking at a school that's still standing, and all the human beings have died, have passed away. What does Christ the King mean if there are no humans left to possess that meaning? What does Christ the King then mean if there are no humans left to possess that meaning? Is Christ the King the most valuable meaning for the human race right now? He's not saying he agrees or disagrees with Christ the King. He's not saying that. He's simply asking, is Christ the King, this idea, the most important thing for the human race right now? Is this bettering the human race? Is this healing Mother Earth? So he's showing me again, basically a spirit and a baby as one, and the birth of Jesus, the King, right? But just Jesus and his purpose. It's just simply about his purpose. It has nothing to do with these names. It's just simply about Jesus' purpose. So, for instance, the school could be love in Jesus. I mean, wouldn't that be cool to go to the school that's not Christ the King, but it's Jesus who loves you? The school called Jesus who loves you. The school called Jesus the healer. The school called something of this kind. So now he's talking about the rebirth of energy, the rebirth of ideas, the rebirth of our planet. So everything has a lifespan. Even a human being is born and then dies, and then there's a lifespan. So the consciousness never dies. The body dies, but ideas too can go through rebirths. So he's saying there's nothing necessarily wrong with this, Christ the King. But he's saying it's also an idea, and the idea can be reborn. And he's saying there's nothing wrong with, he's not saying Roman Catholic Church is good or bad. He's just simply saying everything is going to be reborn. Everything has a time and a place for its purpose, and it will be reborn. Everything has a lifespan. Roman Catholic Church has a lifespan. Human race has a lifespan. Mother Earth has a lifespan. The sun has a lifespan. Our solar system has a lifespan. The universe actually has a lifespan. Jesus has a lifespan. That bunny rabbit, your favorite turtle, these all have lifespans. So there's rebirth to ideas, rebirth to the human, the consciousness, to everything has rebirth. And so he's just showing me the rebirth of the Roman Catholic Church, the rebirth of Christ the King school, the rebirth of everything. But he is telling me that there is a real dimension where all this sort of lingers. It's like a toxic dead world, an old idea, and it's just still there. And I'm like, what does that necessarily need to be there? It's the idea that there is an apocalypse, he says. An apocalypse that wipes out every living thing. He says that idea has an existence in a dimensional space of reality, and it looks like this, and Christ the King is still standing in an apocalyptic world. That has already happened. So I was saying, well, what do we do about this? Does that need to be there? He says, as long as human beings believe in an apocalyptic world, then yes. That space will exist. And I say, well, what if we move on? Like I just walked away from those pigmen and then just never gave it a second thought. That doesn't mean that they aren't still standing or that didn't ever happen. So in a way that this will always exist, right? Because nothing can really be deleted, but it can be reborn. Do you guys understand what I'm talking about here? I'm talking about ideas and how they create more than you could imagine. So you get enough people on a planet to believe in apocalypse, we actually manifest a real material world that is the reflection of our idea, apocalypse. And then we decide as a collective if we will merge with that reality or if we will not. So therefore, there's really a dimensional materialized world that is associated with our belief in an apocalypse. And so we can have that if we want that. But it's still there. Just so you know, we can still have that at any time. We can. Me and the relationship with the zombie apocalypse, I'm so against people thinking and like worshiping the idea of a zombie apocalypse. In any materialized future of a zombie apocalypse, the only people that will be alive are men with lots and lots of guns and a couple super hot chicks. And then everybody else will be zombies. Because in anybody's wildest fantasy of a zombie apocalypse, that's all that exists. A couple of guys with lots of guns and super hot chicks. So I guarantee there's a material world, a manifestation of what could be if enough people want to believe in that, want to help materialize that. Anyway, what we create with our ideas. If we could believe in it hard enough, yes, we can, isn't there like a field of dreams? Like if you believe it, they will come or something. If you dream it, they will come. There's something like this. But if we believe it hard enough, it will materialize, okay? Let me see what else Jesus has to say about this. All right, so, All right, I don't even know where to begin next. I'm just sort of watching this like planetary, this sort of interstellar, interdimensional, I don't know, this place that he showed me, and I'm seeing, I am the bigger picture. I'm looking at the smaller version of the bigger picture, I guess. So I'm trying to decide where do I go from here, because I feel like I've gone everywhere I need to go. And I'm at peace with the collective creating an apocalyptic future. If that's what the collective feels is necessary. And so I'm okay with that. I'm just here to do my part. I'll talk to Jesus. I'll share Jesus, my perspective of Jesus's message. Am I talking to Jesus? Yes, I'm talking to the consciousness, that which is Jesus. This is what Jesus wants to share through my interpretation of Jesus's frequency. So you get to decide, how does it inspire you to become a better person? That's what this message is. Rated mature. Are you mature enough to think for yourself? Are you mature enough to think, how can I make a difference? How can I become a better person for myself and others? How can I love more than ever before? How can I care? How can I put more energy into the manifestation of the Garden of Eden returning to planet Earth over the apocalypse? I tell Jesus that I would really like to see Mother Mary smile. And I'd really like for the Divine Feminine Collective and the Divine Masculine Collective to start to work together and to see the value in each other. And there's a lot of healing that both sides need. And a lot of us, there's a lot of generations of getting more and more screwed up by an ever suffocating society that is afraid of change, and people that are afraid of change within it. And this has got to be transformed. And this might be the final breaths of this part of our evolution, so that it can rebirth and we can have fresh new developments through the generations, right? Through the next generations. But let's give those next generations a chance, don't you think? Let's give them an opportunity. Let's give them more than we were ever given, so to speak. Like let's try and keep doing it better as best we know how. And we're not going to be perfect, but all we can do is try, right? But I feel that this Mother Mary crying, and I feel that the Divine Masculine and Feminine, we need to start supporting each other, and it needs to get louder. The love does. It needs to get louder. And the precious, precious planet that we exist on is so special. It's like, it's pretty cool to say I live on planet Earth. It almost makes you sound like an interdimensional traveler. You know, you live on a planet. I mean, you live in a universe. Like, you live in a galaxy. That's really special. It's like it gets you connected to a bigger picture of where you exist in creation. Not just, I live in this community, or that's my school that I had gone to, and this is where I used to work, or this is me. But to actually see yourself as a being of the universe. The human race, we are beings of the universe. Jesus is a being of the universe. We forget that Jesus is so connected to the universe that he is connected to alien races as well. He is connected to anything you could possibly imagine, just as you are, just as I am. We're all connected to everything. So, just taking a moment here. Yeah. I think that's all. That's all I got to say about that. All right. I was kind of thinking maybe a softer message. But I guess this is a good message too. It gives us a lot of perspective. And I like how Jesus isn't saying he agrees or disagrees. He is simply reminding us of his journey and his pathway and what that resembles. What is that a reflection of? And how are we choosing to be a reflection of love in this world? And it's giving us perspective, deeper perspectives, not just at the surface layer. We all want an angelic reality. So let's start working on creating that, right? Let's start working on creating an angelic reality. Like, we could create a meetup group called Creating the Angelic Reality, and getting a bunch of people involved and putting our heads together. What can we do, these first 3 months of January to create an angelic reality? One idea that we could work on over the course of 3 months in our community. And I'm telling you, anything to beautify the community, anything to get more opportunities to read books to kids, to, just get involved with people and with Mother Earth is a great way to make a difference, is a Jesus-style way to make a difference. And it's not about a reptilian agenda or conspiracy theory. It's about you just simply wanting to participate in giving a gift of love. And that has power. That does not involve enslavement. That involves a choice to care. And caring makes a difference. Caring about the reptilian agenda is not making a difference. It's simply an interesting phenomenon that gives you something to think about, but it's not helping, little Johnny with reading down the street. It's not planting a garden of flowers near the school so that the kids can enjoy smelling the flowers while they play outside. I mean, these are big things that we need to get into perspective here. So this is a happy message for the Christmas coming up soon, right? For all the wonderful holidays coming up soon. It gives us a thoughts about love and connectedness. Okay, hope you all have a wonderful day. If any of you would like to visit with me one-on-one, I do share psychic sessions. You can visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. All right. Love you all and have a wonderful day.